Len, tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I started my work career a number of years ago. Primary focus was in finance and accounting. I'm a chartered professional accountant in Canada, and I also took a number of educational programs, including the operational excellence framework in about 2012. And from a professional perspective, where I spent my time was, in an array of areas within a number of organizations that go back to telecommunications, to electricity, power, water generations, not-for-profit organizations. And my current stop is in the Alberta oil and gas industry.
You've had a chance to apply this in a number of different sectors. And tell me, when you go back to when you first learned about the Organizational Excellence Framework, what did you think about it? You were a pretty seasoned professional at that time, but what was your first impression of an excellence model?
My first impression of an excellent model was just how useful it could be used with a number of other skills that you gain, and be able to apply it to any organization. So and why I say that is that the excellence model has all aspects that any organization would need in order to be successful. So I found it, whether you're a professional, whether you're an executive leader, or whether you're a frontline team member, these excellence models are applicable to all areas of business, and are another tool belt, especially another tool in your toolkit or in your tool belt as a professional. And I find that as you get into different situations, excellence models are something that can level set you, or build a foundation to kind of start a conversation, with the leaders or with the employees or the team members that you're involved with.
Absolutely. And since you've learned about it, you've had a chance to apply it to a number of different organizations. And so please tell me a little bit about how you've applied it and the difference that it's made in these organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. The application of the model is what I find is it's very, there's an opportunity to be very fluid, but there's an opportunity for it to be very process orientated and guiding. Where I've used it, and I've had a lot of success in the last organizations, is actually using the tool that assesses how the organization's at. In the current organization I was with, the tool actually provided us insight into what the opportunities were, where we can spend our time, and what the team members and what the employees thought of it. It also gave you a baseline to measure year over year with respect to how you're doing, and it gave you, in my mind, instantaneous feedback with things that worked really well and things that, in my mind, again, moving the needle with respect to excellence, and what your next journey and what your next process is that can be effective. The other thing is, as I say, it's systematic in that all of these pieces that you use with respect to an excellence model are important for an organization, but it takes time. It takes your leaders to adopt and to agree with the model. It's not a quick win. The other thing I got out of the excellence model is that with that time, it works, and there's a good payoff for organizations that want to take this journey and want to be successful.
And when you did your first assessment, and employees for the very first time had a chance to weigh in on the organization, what did you think as a leader? Were there any surprises there in their, let's say, ratings or open-ended comments, things that maybe you didn't know about and that you could quickly address that would make a world of difference?
No, absolutely. The open-ended comments, in my mind, what I found a lot of time of the open-ended comments in the organization that a lot of times there's a lot of similarities with respect to your opportunities and things that you can do better as an organization. I found, you have both a breadth and depth of comments, but it did allow you to, to be able to use the model and be very, very effective. I say this is a long journey, but it also has tools to, help you be very, very effective and to be able to change, change the way you do things or be able to do things in a manner that's impactful. And I think that my first journey into the model, I'd say it was an eye-opener. It certainly demonstrated that there were a number of things to do, but it was also very focused, and it allowed you to be here's some real key areas that you can work with, and of course the help with individuals that also look at the data, your leadership team or others, allow you to get that adoption and buy-in to go on to the next step. Very valuable and measurable. You can, as I mentioned earlier, it's something that you can do it in 1 year and just see every year how you're doing and how you can do better.
And tell me what you think about engaging and involving people in the organization in the assessment, and then involving them in the improvement initiatives, the things that need to be done to help strengthen the organization. What difference does that make to the kind of culture of the organization?
Well, I think some people think at the end of the day they need to do it all, and our experience in the organizations that I've been involved in is that you have such a vast amount of knowledge and expertise and skill, and when you tap on that, the end result of where you're going with respect to excellence is better. It's better than what you expected, because you have people that are team members that are very, very close to what they do, and they know what good looks like, and they're able to help you. The cultural change, in my mind, as opposed to having someone tell you how to do something, it's talking about the whys, and it's talking about the hows, and getting the people involved or your team involved in the hows to make process get better. It's transformational. That would be the word that I would use. It changes a culture, and it gives individuals an opportunity to become leaders, and it gives individuals that opportunity to take accountability and ownership, which is key. And finally, it taps in on knowledge of many to be able to strive towards a common goal.
Yes, and striving towards a common goal that's a challenge for every leader, isn't it? Getting everyone in the organization working towards a common aim, and moving in that direction to work towards that vision and deliver that mission and live by the values.
Yeah, I the common goal, when you talk about the framework, and at the end of the day, most organizations are going to have good missions, a great what I'll call core values, and what we try and do as we go through these models and use these models is to get that alignment. And for an individual, I can't say how important it is for an organization and for a team member, an individual, to have that alignment. And I think how that their employees are valued, employees are part of the process. It matters what everybody thinks, and we're not doing 100 things. We're doing things that, in our mind, move the needle for the success of the organization. Whether it's a for-profit or whether it's a not-for-profit organization. And in each of these industries, my background is that as I mentioned earlier, I've been in those organizations, and it doesn't matter what organization you are, these tools are so effective in order to help the organizations be successful and where they want to take their where they want to take that organization, or for better sake of words, where they want that ship to sail.
And tell me, when you talked about the employees and the benefit of working with this vast knowledge and skill set, and tell me what the model has helped you better understand other stakeholders like customers, your suppliers and partners. Has it provided some additional insights there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, when you part of the reason you're there is for the success of your customers, and truly understanding, whether they're a customer that's external to the organization or an internal customer to the organization. It's so important to understand what success looks like for them, and how you can help them. And that's kind of why you're there. Most employees and most team members want a winning game, and part of that is to be really in tune with what your clients or your customers need, what your internal clients or customers need, and how you can help them, and what good looks like. The other thing to me is that you form partnerships with others in order to support the client and the customers. Those partnerships are, suppliers and vendors, where they either bring in material, depending on what your organization is, to support a build, the organization I'm in today, or whether you need goods and services. And the other thing is that organizations, when you look at this, is your ability to bring in consultants that are specialized in areas that can support you. And I look at that as an integral part of the model. You sometimes need this expertise, or maybe you don't know you need it, in order to move the organization to the next level. So it's so important that when you look at employees, when you look at customers, and you look at kind of our suppliers and business partners, that they're part of that process, they're part of the excellence journey. And those individuals, or those groups, and that focus on the customer, and what you're providing for them in order for them to be successful, is essential.
And in terms of some of the improvement initiatives that you've undertaken, each year you work on something different to help strengthen the organization. Has there been some standout projects where you sit back and you say, gee, what a difference that's made? Has there anything come to mind there?
Yeah, absolutely. I can go to very simple projects for us that impacted our internal customer, and certainly that impacted our external customer. One of my favorite projects is just leadership development for our team members, and being able to sit down and understand what the team member that you support or you report to, by developing a personal development plan, being able to partner with an organization. In this case, at All-Star, we partnered with Franklin Covey in order to deliver world-class educational leadership development skills to our team members, and just the end result of somebody being given a tool in their toolkit to be able to help people succeed, immensely popular. As simple as is our orientation. Our orientation model was, you had to come in physically, and we have employees or team members that are across this Western Canada that work with us, and you had to come into our location to do your orientations, to provide your credentials or competencies in order to be part of the work that we do for our clients. And we were able to look at that. We were able to look at how we could get it, make it better. And we were able to deliver that seamlessly to where a person lives, works, and plays in order to become orientated at All-Star, which is huge for the work that we do. Part of what we need to do is that we want to make sure that when our employees come to work, they go home safely every night. And safety is a big part of the work that we do today. Our clients want to make sure that the competencies that they need in order for us to successfully do the job are there, and that we have them readily available. We're able to use technology and look at processes and put ourselves in the shoes of our customer, in this case the employee, and do it better, and do it in in a manner that's conducive to what they need to be successful. So there's a couple of projects, many more that I think part of the model, the excellent framework that you can go through that demonstrate just how effective it is.
Yes, there's no shortage of things to work on, is there? I mean, it's all about building on your strengths and addressing those opportunities for improvement one at a time, and reaping the benefits of it. And I think back to when you first started on the excellence journey with this current company at All-Star, is around the same time All-Star was acquiring a new company. And so you're looking at these two companies with different cultures at a different state in terms of their current state, and you're looking at assessing these companies and then moving forward on this improvement journey by combining them. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, because I think that's a particularly interesting challenge, really, for leadership.
Well, absolutely, and I'll maybe look at it as an opportunity as you get two organizations together. A lot of times there's some great there's some great processes, great people, clients, customers that both bring together, and the opportunity to work effectively together is your hope when you make an acquisition, or whether you do a merger. The challenge that you soon face is that you have a couple of choices that you want to make in order to make the organization better, and then typically some similar but some different processes. And the excellence model is one thing that I look at when you look at those work processes on how you can get together, and how you can actually take a process, with maybe people that have very different views or come from a different background, and make it work. And just how powerful that is when it's completed. And I kind of chuckle is that when you first start on this journey, you kind of go through a change mindset. That's not always what you see when you start the process, because you have to sometimes roll up your sleeves and get to work. And but if you include people, you have a systematic approach to what you want to accomplish and when you want to accomplish. I find the end result is rewarding, and it's rewarding for individuals in both companies as they come together in order to bring an organization together. And this framework, in my mind, is some of the key things that you can use in order to accomplish that.
And I just want to pick up on the use of the word mindset, because part of this excellence journey is about moving an organization that has, let's say, the people have a corrective mindset. They work to correct problems when they occur, but moving them to a preventive mindset. How do we prevent that from occurring again? And then on through to a continual improvement mindset, always asking the question, what are we doing now and how can we do it better? And this is something you've likely seen with the employees and the company as you've been leading it through this journey, is that the changing mindset that you see amongst the employees?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point is that, there's tools that you can use to identify maybe what the data is telling you, but at the end of the day, it's a change in the culture and a change in the mindset with respect to, I have this great data, now what can I do with it? And and what's a problem and maybe what's not a problem, and how to solve kind of those opportunities with respect to this. And then the last point is that kind of once you start the step, well, I've got data, I know there's a problem, to how do I solve this, and then how do I get better? Those are transformational to an organization, and it's part of, again, I've talked a little bit about it, empowerment to the individuals that lead the project or lead the process, or are a part of what we do, in particular here at All Star. But it's transformational, but it does take a learning, and it does take some rigor. And if you're going to have a operational excellence framework, reduce kind of those friction costs, sometimes you got to take in silos, and you have to turn them on their side. And that's very important for people to see, that that they're not just in a finance department or in a business development department. They're part of a process that starts from end to end. And there's tools and mechanisms for us to get better around continuous improvement, around measuring, around using data to be effective and to be able to get better at what you do. And getting better, people strive to that. They come to work, and they want to get better, and they want to be able to have tools to be successful and have some fun at work. Work needs to be fun, it needs to be fulfilling, and having a rigor and a mindset with respect to how to do that, and giving individuals the ability to take that on is imperative. And I've witnessed that from with the number of organizations that I've been involved in, and lately with All Star. It's something that truly is, as I said, just a joy to see at the end of the day.
Yes, and I wanted to talk a little bit about measurement, because we know that excellence models offer a balanced system of measurement. And so often we see organizations concentrating on financial measures, but there's much more to that when you think about everything that the excellence model offers. And when you first started working at All Star, what was the kind of current state of measurement at that time compared to what it is today? I'm assuming that it might have expanded a little bit so that you get a more holistic view and are getting feedback on how the organization is performing using a number of different measures now, a more balanced system of measurement.
Yeah, I agree. I think system of measurement is kind of is again a journey or a process that you go through. And to your point, a lot of it was financial. At the end of the day, how are we doing? And our approach for what we've implemented at All Star is a balanced scorecard approach. And in those areas, and most people involved in balanced scorecard, there certainly are financial measurements. There certainly are customer measurements. There's what we'll call people measurements as well. And then we call it on our side operational excellence or process measurements. And we found that there's measurements that are used at different levels, where the senior leader may have, they want to pay attention to certain metrics that are really important. And as you go down through the process, there's going to be a number of measurements, whether you're in human resources, whether you're in finance, whether you're in supply chain management, or whether you're part of our business development team, that are important to you, and really tell you how you're doing. Whether there maybe is an opportunity or a challenge that you need to look at, all the way down to what we use is control logs, where we find at our data entry data that's going through the system flawlessly, and maybe data that isn't, and our opportunity to look and measure to see whether that data is an issue that we need to address, or maybe it isn't. So those those pieces around being able to see how you're doing, I think are imperative. But again, it's a journey to get you there. You start off with certain measurements and they grow, but they need to be balanced and they need to be focused on many sectors of your business.
And tell me, in the years now that you've been using an excellence model, there's been some valuable lessons learned. What advice would you have to other seasoned professionals in leadership positions based on what you've experienced?
Well, I think an understanding, a lot of times, when you introduce a model, people want to make sure that it works. And so I can tell you it works. And I can tell you it's not a quick win. There certainly are some items that you can do or manage that are quick, but it takes some time. So having patience, having an understanding that good organizations that are successful use these excellent framework and models. But more importantly is the adoption, I believe, at the leadership team, and doing a good job of painting the picture of what the future would look like and what it can do. If you want to grow, you need to be able to have processes in place that allow you to grow, if that's an aspiration. And so my learnings are around clearly understanding where the organization wants to go, getting the adoption with respect to the leaders, being patient and systematic to your approach, but having a view that this works and it can really drive an organization to be successful. And the one piece I think that in my mind that's probably huge, and maybe will get the hopefully your team members or your employees excited, is just to know that their contributions are valued, and that value will actually make whatever you do, whatever process you're part of, or whatever organization you're part of, better. And I've said it a number of times, kind of in this discussion, is that you just get to tap the potential of 1,000 people or 500 people, or however big your organization is, as opposed to 3 or 4. And so my learnings are kind of around those areas. And then I'd also say that those areas are all encompassing. They're related. They're not independent from one another. Start small, show successes, and then keep on moving forward. And those are the things that, in my mind, that have led to the success. And I can tell you, in the organizations that I've been with, this works.
Well, thank you so much, Len, for sharing your insights and your lessons learned. It's been an incredible journey indeed. And thanks so much for your time and sharing your experiences with us.